Montclair State University, or any of their affiliates.
You're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair? Dude, is that a full moon?
Good morning, everyone. You're listening to the Morning Buzz right here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. I am one of your hosts, Jonathan Kaplan, and welcome to the show. It is currently 9:04 a.m. on your Wednesday, July 8th, 2026. And I am not alone. Who am I joined by in the studio?
I'm your other host, Pedro Chapelain Baez, and in today's show, we will be discussing BJ's roof collapsing, storm damages, Governor Sherrill efforts to lower electric bill, and NJ Transit updates. But before we get into our top stories for the day, here is Megan Lipscomb for your WMSC News Update.
Good morning. I'm Megan Lipscomb, and this is WMSC News. For our top story last night, a cargo plane, Boeing 737, crashed into the Arabian Sea. The plane was about 80 minutes into its 2-hour flight from Sharjah, UAE to Karachi, Pakistan. The pilots claimed it was a navigation issue. More on the investigation is taking place of the cause and the location in the sea of the plane. In local campus news, yesterday afternoon, the Montclair Board of Education decided that for the upcoming school year, Montclair Public Schools will no longer provide tuition for free enrollment. This is for the non-resident students and teachers. In New Jersey news, with the state experiencing major heat changes in the heat this past week, 29 deaths have been confirmed. Out of the 29 deaths, 22 of them have occurred over the 4th of July weekend. The ages of deaths were seen to early 30s and 80s. Most of these deaths were confirmed by poor hydration and lack of air conditioning. In national news, today marks day 3 of the Tyler Robinson trial. Rosen is responsible for the assassination of Charlie Kirk. He has yet to enter a plea deal and is looking at a approximate death sentence. Going into sports, going to the diamond of the MLB. Last night, the Yankees took a loss to the Rays 4-6. Tonight, the Yankees will have a rematch against the Rays at 6:40 p.m., and the Mets will play the Royals at 7:10 p.m. Going to the ice of the NHL, the 2026-2027 season schedule has an official announcement date. Next Wednesday, the opening night games will be announced, and the following Thursday, all teams will be releasing their season schedules. Heading into traffic, delays are heading away from campus towards Clifton. Moving on to weather, right now is currently 71 degrees with sun. The highest today will be 84 degrees, and the lowest today will be 69 degrees with sun. This has been your WMSC News Report.
Thank you so much, Megan. And now we will move on to our first story of the morning. Ocean Township, BJ's. You may have heard of this happening. A roof of a BJ's wholesale club collapsed in Ocean Township, and Governor Mikey Sherrill actually visited that store yesterday after its roof collapse due to heavy rain. She visited yesterday afternoon to speak to the first responders that were on the scene. Security footage of the collapse has been circulating online. The governor responded by saying, quote, "You can just see your family there as something like this happens. We are working hard to make sure that we assess," end quote. So, um, this has, this is just one of like the many effects that we've kind of been having a lot of big weather, severe weather in the last few days. Obviously, there was that heat wave, and then the thunderstorm, the big storms this holiday weekend and early this week. So, um yeah, it's definitely been a crazy few days for sure.
I'm so over it. Jonathan, you know me as a winter girl. I'm
Hmm.
so over it. I cannot.
I mean, I like summer, but especially the heat wave I feel has been just been brutal this past week. So, there's a certain Goldilocks zone I like. I think today we're gonna be there, but once we get to 90s, hundreds, and don't even get me started on big thunderstorms. Uh, that's when it's like, okay, like I like this time of year, but also there's some not so fun weather that can happen even if I generally like warm weather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. And again, this is very unfortunate. This heat wave lasted for 6 days, maybe even 7. It was these storms were expected after reaching over 100 degrees. Again, I haven't seen that in a very long time. I don't know about you guys, but it was very unfortunate about the death count, especially with not everyone having the opportunity to have AC,
Yes.
which is already surprising.
Yeah.
But you
That's it.
also had, oh, sorry.
No, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say too, like a lot of these towns, I know this in my town, they had cooling stations
Yeah.
throughout the town. And I guess like some of those towns unfortunately can't afford that. And
Hmm.
it's really sad. It makes you kind of think in a way, how much water are we all really drinking? Like, is what we're drinking really enough?
Hmm. I mean, yeah.
Like
I
I drink a 32-ounce hydro flask
mm,
every day, like 1 32 ounce. I think I need to step it up even more.
I mean, I feel like I drink a lot of water. That's just me though.
No, but I definitely had to drink more during the heat wave, honestly.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you, Jordan?
I can definitely like relate to like, the weather. Well, first, I do think it's kind of unfortunate that, that there was a roof collapse for in Ocean Township. I did know like about the weather being like kind of like, you know, strong, like we had the heat wave and then the thunderstorms, but I feel like it kind of helped in a way because, well, this is unfortunate, this whole situation, but whenever whenever it did rain, it brings like this cool breeze. And
Yeah.
so
Hmm.
that kind of like makes it kind of perfect to like kind of like not necessarily to, well, actually, yes, to like kind of like walk around. And I guess that that was enjoyable for me. But I do. It's a shame that a lot of these towns don't have access to cooling systems or ACs. So yeah.
Did you guys lose
Yeah.
power at all?
I did not.
No.
I did
No.
not. I heard a lot of people did, especially um a few towns that are south of where I live
Hmm.
lost power. So um that yeah, I can't imagine uh not having power, especially uh after like the extreme heat we had and then the storm,
Hmm.
obviously not fun. Um
It was crazy because I was
yeah.
driving through, my family and I, we were driving through the storm because we were coming back from Ocean City, Maryland. Oh my gosh. You know the storms they show you in movies?
Did it kind of feel like that?
Yes. Like we saw crazy flashes of lightning. And I know a car is technically safer than being in your house in a way, but
Yes. Yes.
the
During a
whole
storm, yeah.
time, yeah. The whole time my mom and sister were like, "Oh my gosh, let's get pictures of the storm."
Of the storm.
And I'm just sitting in the back seat like crying. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, can this like get any worse?" Like the
I
lightning
mean,
is
yeah.
Hmm.
I remember one time uh that I was in the car that there thankfully I wasn't driving. I don't know what I would do if I was driving, but uh it was like it's suddenly like heavy rain, heavy wind. It was like um I might have told this story before, but visibility went from like normal to zero, like that. I snapped
Mhm.
my fingers. Uh, that's what you just heard, folks.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, I mean, it does sometimes feel very scary. Like, what's gonna happen? Is my car gonna be okay? Am I gonna be okay?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but thankfully, it seems both of us were fine.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. My mom and sister were trying to like calm me down, but at the same time, I'm like, guys, like, y'all can. I'm very scared of lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Like, you got, like, y'all need to. It was funny
No,
in no way, but I'm like, come on.
no, I kind of have the same fear, if I'm being honest. I know, and I'm sure you know, Megan, too, that like the chances of being struck by lightning are like basically nothing. Like it's very low chances. Still, like the thought that it could happen,
Mm-hmm.
like terrifies me. So,
But the trauma, like, we've experienced the storms at Montclair State, and not just like those
mhm.
storms are something else, to say the
Yeah.
least.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, it's very crazy from going from 100 to stormy weather.
Hmm.
And I know
Yeah.
we touched base on this last week with going into the 4th of July and celebrating the 250th anniversary. Many events got canceled
Yeah.
or really, yeah, majority of them got canceled.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but a lot of my local winery actually had to cancel
Mm.
their food truck festival.
Ah, yeah.
So that was very unfortunate.
I know a lot of especially the big national events
Hmm.
for like the 250th have been like they've been planning them for like a decade because 250 is supposed to be like a big milestone, right?
Yeah.
Um Now I don't know if like these local events were being planned out for that long, but I know that's when the like America 250, if you've seen that logo
Hmm.
uh at, in like advertising or whatever, like that organization was started 10 years ago to prep for a day that most of the country ended up being very hot,
Hmm.
uh, obviously here in New Jersey, but also a lot of the East Coast as well.
Yes. No, we were in the upper 90s that day.
Yeah,
And
and
Ugh.
it's like I'd love to do something for the fourth,
hmm
but it's way too hot.
yes. How did you guys adjust your plans?
We just stayed inside.
Yeah, my barbecue, my friend's barbecue was an indoor thing.
Mm.
Hmm.
Jordan?
Um, yeah, I really like for this thing, I really try to like stay inside. But I did plan, we did have also have a cookout for the 4th of July. But that was a lot of people didn't end up coming because of, the weather and stuff. They didn't know like what was gonna happen. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, um, I was really trying to like stay inside. Like, I didn't really go outside unless I had to,
Hmm.
Hmm.
because of the unpredictable weather. So yeah.
I just don't do well in the heat. I don't know about you guys, but if I'm sitting outside for like 2 minutes and like with the sun blazing on me, I get really sick.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. That's why it's always good to, especially during heat waves, but even at any time,
Yeah, really. Mm.
make sure you're hydrated. Don't overexert yourself. If you need to go inside or if you need to sit down or whatever, do it. It's all good.
Mhm.
Yes, and
Yeah,
really stay out of the sun when it's the highest UV. What is it? Around 10 to 4?
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now
Yeah.
speaking about further storm damages, storm damage leaves tree down, wires and roads blocked in Wyckoff. Overnight storm causes to fall, blocking the road and taking down power service to their house. The neighborhood loses power for a brief time. However, the homeowner has no power and has to deal with the tree. The tree has snapped at the base, making it extremely difficult for crew members to remove the tree. So this is another aftermath of the storm.
So it's fallen on someone. That's a tree
Yes.
fallen on someone's house. I'm getting that.
Oh no, it didn't fall on the house, but right on the road.
Okay, so like
It-
they can't escape. They can't escape. Like, well, yeah, they can't get out.
Yeah, the officers had to put tape around
Mm,
just to block off. But no, this is very unfortunate. I feel extremely sad for the family.
yeah, like
Yeah.
and especially also, I mean, I don't know this specific road. Oh, you did. Oh no, I was gonna say power lines. I don't know if there's power lines on this specific road, but if there were, that's obviously a big hazard
Mhm.
when something like this happens, when trees collapse.
Yes.
They take down power lines and they could still be active.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you're always advised, like, don't touch them. Even if they're on the ground, they could still be live, and
Mhm.
it's a nasty shock.
Yeah.
If you do touch that.
On the way home from when we went to Ocean City, there were so many trees knocked down. I'm gonna put the pictures in the chat, but there were
Okay.
in our text message group. But there were
Yes.
so many trees that were knocked down that we were supposed to get home around like 9:30 p.m. We didn't get home till
Didn't happen.
9:50.
Oh, 9:50. What was what were the times again? 9:30 and
Yeah.
9:50?
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Yeah,
mean,
but
Yeah.
you have those people that were literally in the left lane when the tree was falling and there was
Mhm.
no like blockage or tape around it. Like,
Yeah.
come on, you see a tree right there. Like, we don't want this to get any worse.
Yeah.
They need to be in the left lane as much as possible so that they can pass other vehicles and definitely not just generally go fast.
Mm-hmm.
But we were not moving anytime soon. I'm like, what is the rush? Like, you guys, like, come on.
Yeah.
Common
No.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's really rough. I don't know about how many times you've commuted throughout this week or even after this weekend, but yeah, there were trees on the side of the road, branches, a little bit of everything, and then I even flood warnings on
Yeah.
the side of the roads.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how bad was your neighborhood.
I mean, I can speak for my street. It looked pretty bad for a time.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think that was just because of the amount of rainwater. Like after it finished raining,
Mhm.
everything drained fine. So it wasn't that bad, but it was just like right as it was falling. It was probably more than the whatchamacallits could handle. The grates. Why am I blanking on their name? The drainers? That's not what they're called.
The sewers?
Yeah, something like
Sewer
that.
drains.
Sewer drain. That's it. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Sewer drain. Thank you.
I didn't get that much flooding. It was more just like there's a Mavis discount near me,
Mm-hmm.
like on my street, and that there was a tree that fell in between that tire place and then someone else's house. Thankfully, it did not hit the house.
Yeah.
But my friend said that there was a tree falling on our road.
Mm.
And that's like the busiest way to get, like the most common way to get to 287.
Oh wow.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, seriously? Or the one that leads to Morristown? I don't know. 287, right?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not good with highways, but
Yeah, that should be correct.
I only know Route 3 and that's it.
I know Morristown is on like the Morrison Essex line. I know that specific rail line on NJ Transit was hit hard
Mhm.
after the
Mhm.
storm. I think today they finally restored full service on that line. It's kind of I've been looking at it on the app the past few days, even though I'm not writing on it, but
Mhm.
just out of curiosity, I'm looking at it on the app, and it's like, Okay, limited service from Summit. Okay, Morristown. Okay, the whole line is open. That's what it's looked like the past few days.
Yes. And then what about you, Jordan? How was your road?
For me, it wasn't as bad. The only thing that like major happened was that I think like the internet went out for like a couple of like hours,
Oof.
but that was
Yeah.
I think that was like after or kind of like when the storm was settling down, but there wasn't really much happening on our street. Um, 'Cause I did walk down, there was nothing, there were not really like any trees or anything that fell down, so I was grateful to see that. It was nice to see that it didn't like cause too much damage.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Remember that hurricane that passed through like in 2020 around
Um,
August? Or was that just my town then? There
oh,
was a
I
hurricane.
might remember that. I think I might remember that because I was in high school at the time, and if that's the same year I'm remembering it
Yeah, we
being,
were
that was
sophomores.
actually 2020. My high school parking lot got flooded and had to delay the first day of school for like a couple days. Um, so yeah, that that wasn't great. Um,
My
yeah.
schedule was supposed to come out that day, and my sister and I, we were like, "Come on, like, let's go! Like, why is it taking so long?" And then the district was like, "Oh, you're not gonna see it for another week," which was the week before school started. I'm like,
Ooh.
"Seriously?"
They couldn't, it was in 2020. They couldn't do it virtually, like at home. Like they wanted to give I guess
You
there's
get them virtually, but like the internet was down, so they couldn't like
oh,
the middle
okay.
school and high schools got their schedules at the same
I didn't realize
time.
that was the case.
Mhm.
Um, yes, that makes sense now. Thank you for that
No
detail.
problem.
um, yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember what you're talking about though. That wasn't particularly great. But um, if no one else, does anyone else have any thoughts before we take it to
Yeah,
break?
honestly, stay safe. I don't know about you guys, but my local winery got the vineyard was heavily damaged.
Mm.
Plants actually, the posts were falling down.
Oh wow.
So, this I wonder how other farmlands are handling this. From adjusting from the heat to the storms.
Mm-hmm.
It's very unfortunate.
Yes. With
yeah,
oh, just that's it.
yeah,
Yes. All
yeah.
right. With that being said, we are gonna go on a quick music break. When we come back, we will be discussing Governor Sherrill signs three bills to lower the cost of electricity in the state. Also, NJ Transit updates their app with GPS tracking. So maybe there's finally some improvements after what's been going on transit. We'll see. But before we do that, we're gonna go on a quick music break and listen to Dancing Queen by ABBA.
from ambient to pop to alternative to metal and hip hop, well, you're in luck, my friend, because Summertime Sadness with Marek Albin is in effect at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Tune in on Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. to hear a total smorgasbord of genres.
Good morning. My name is Megan Lipscomb, and this is your regular traffic and weather update. Heading into traffic, delays on Route 3 heading towards Clifton are still taking place. Moving on to weather, right now it is 72 degrees with sun with a real feel of 83 degrees. This has been your WMSV traffic and weather update.
Hey, listener, if you like our content here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, you can follow us on our social media platforms to stay updated on our radio shows, sports events, giveaways, and so much more. You can follow us on Facebook at WMSC 90.3 FM, Instagram and TikTok at WMSC Radio, our Twitter and SoundCloud at 90.3 WMSC FM, and our YouTube at WMSC Radio 90.3.
Welcome back to the Morning Buzz right here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. I'm one of your hosts, Jonathan Kaplan. Welcome back, and let's move on to our next story for the morning. Governor Mikey Sherrill has signed 3 bills into law that will set different electricity rates for data centers compared to regular customers. These bills are meant to lower the electricity bills for New Jersey residents. It's been obviously a big complaint across the country and even here in New Jersey that electricity bills have skyrocketed after this big push to build AI data centers. They've skyrocketed in the communities where they've been built. People don't like that. So what Governor Sherrill is saying is that basically the AI companies are going to be flipping the bill for the increased costs, or at least that's the idea. So, you know, I'm sure we all have our thoughts on AI. I certainly do. But if this does what it says it's going to do, I think that sounds like might be good for New Jersey residents.
Yeah, no, it's a really good idea. Hopefully, this thing actually does what it implies. Because it's very unfortunate for many neighborhoods or around the area to be hit with this bill that have nothing to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Or the data centers that, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
It's not even AI you have to think about too. It's literally the fact we use electricity no matter what. Like
Mm-hmm.
you cannot ignore the fact that we don't use electricity,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Like if sometimes we don't even think about it. Like I
Yeah.
know we have our phones attached to us, but like just like turning on the AC or even just
Yeah.
like operating like having a fan, you still need electricity.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, that's obviously been a big issue. Again, relating to the weather, the past few days, but yeah. Jordan, do you have any thoughts?
I do think that well, we kind of talked about this. I remember us talking about the AI data centers, and I thought that I didn't even know that they were even building data centers in New Jersey. So, um, yeah, but I do think that it's great that the governor is working to um, lower the electric bills, especially considering what has happened this past like week. So
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
I do think that that's great.
Yeah. I think it's also, just the big I mentioned AI specifically because that's like the big new thing that also takes so much electricity that they literally need to use water to cool down those servers, uh, which help generate the AI whatever, which is obviously this bill isn't really doing anything about that concern about how much water we're using on AI, but at least it's something.
Yeah, I think-
Something is better than nothing,
Yeah,
at least at this
I
point.
agree. I think this is a step towards that.
Mhm.
At least it'll ease up the electric bill,
Mhm.
and will hopefully leave a lot of neighborhoods happy.
Mhm. Yeah, just because uh what was that? Oh, I'm trying to say something. It's not fair to the communities where they happen to be building a data center at and it sorry, I'm blanking. And then their costs go up because of the data center that a lot of people really don't want in their towns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's unfortunate that it's like a one is it like one for all like oh because of this because of a town's decision you guys have to pay the price
Yeah.
for something that probably most people don't even want. I mean, Jonathan, you and I have had this discussion before about AI.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's not my favorite
No.
technological advancement in the world, but yeah, that that's just me.
No, yeah, I agree.
um yeah. Anyone else? No. Okay. um I guess we can move on. It's almost 9:40. Pedro.
Yes. So NJ Transit updates app with real-time GPS train tracking. The NJ Transit invests $20 million to install a new real-time GPS train tracking system to improve the toll of commuting. The system provides live train locations instead of relying solely on schedule-based estimates. The investment is part of NJ Transit's broader effort to modernize customer service and technology. However, commuters report that navigating the updated app has become more difficult when checking transit connections. NJ Transit takes a step toward improving NJ commuter transit.
So you're talking about like the app that updated a few months ago
Yes.
with so here's what I'll say because I know a lot of people this happens like every time any application gets a major interface update, whatever. Um for me, it's an adjustment period and then you get used to the new app, where everything is. It's like, okay, I can work with this. That's just me.
Yeah,
But
I think with a lot of people commuting every day and for a long time they haven't really changed the interface. I'm sure it does take a lot longer to really adjust with this one, especially
Mhm.
when you're opening the app and you're immediately supposed to know where everything is,
Yeah.
and then you weren't fully aware of what it was supposed to look like, and then you're supposed to you know already know and buy your ticket and arrive on time.
hmm
So
The GPS tracking sounds like it should be like a good upgrade.
mhm,
Although I've noticed that, and I don't know if it's the GPS system yet is up and running, but it still feels like whenever I look at the app and look where my train is, it still feels like it's not like the point that it's moving or that it's at, like updates every like minute or so, every
mhm,
few minutes maybe.
yeah.
Uh I don't know if that's just how that's set up or if that's they're still using the old system and getting ready for the new one.
Mhm.
One would hope that they would, if they're using GPS tracking, one would hope that you'd be able to track it in real time down to like the second or something. Because I feel like that's more useful than it has at least past this point. It is approaching, because also you can kind of get a sense for how fast it would be going if it was in real time. That's just me.
Now, Jonathan, as a weekly commuter,
Yes.
has this really helped you by any means?
I mean, I haven't really noticed anything different. Like I said, it still feels like it updates, the train location updates every minute or so, maybe every few minutes. Um, but I'm gonna estimate every minute. So yeah, that's the same point I just made.
Yeah, and if I may, how long did it take for you to adjust to this new interface?
I don't think it took me that long. I think like I'd say it's a little different if like I'm thinking about it versus just intuitively um getting it first try, if that makes sense. Um it probably took like a few minutes of just navigating the app to be like, oh, that's where the alerts are, this is where the departure vision is, etc., etc. And then just through the weeks and months of using it regularly, just like, okay, now I'm kind of more intuitively know that this is where, you buy your ticket, whatever. So I think I've gotten pretty used to it. I know how to navigate it, but
Yeah, I think at first it became a little intimidating.
mhm.
For me at least, I don't really use the NJ Transit. Last time I used it was early in the spring, which
Mhm.
which wasn't updated yet.
Yeah.
So when I first opened it up yesterday, I was honestly a little, you know, surprised,
Yeah.
but also I was really hoping that this would help, and hopefully it does help many commuters
Yeah.
in the long run.
I know they're trying to, or they're saying they're trying to modernize as much as they can. Um, so, I mean, I think we've talked about like, oh, they want to make the station smell better. The app is another thing, the updated app, and the GPS tracking is another thing. So,
Yeah, and I definitely think this is better than knowing the estimate time for sure.
yeah. I do know there was something that I think they ended up reversing later that people complained about was uh the time on the departure vision for like a maybe like a month or two. It would only show like the estimated time instead of the scheduled time, which annoyed people because um, you kind of identify the train by the time it's scheduled to arrive at whatever station you're at. So, um, and normally there would be a thing that says, um, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. So that would give you more of like, okay, it's gonna be here at, I don't know, 9 o'clock, or it's scheduled to be at 9 o'clock, but really it'll be here at 9:02 if it's 2 minutes delayed. Um, yeah.
Yeah, and then what about you guys, Megan and
I
Jordan?
don't use transit. The only time I did use it was when we went on the Odyssey trip for
Hmm.
the radio back in the fall. And that was my first time ever booking a train ticket by myself.
Yeah.
I've never been more confused in my life. I'm like, what am I
Yeah,
doing?
the first time, especially for me, my first trip, I had a ticket, like I bought my own ticket for, was home to here at Montclair, and that is a transfer. And so it was a little confusing that it was like, go via Hoboken or via Secaucus, were like two options I had. And thankfully I think I quickly understood what that meant,
Mm-hmm.
and which one was more practical for me. But yeah.
What about you, Jordan?
For me, I think that this is like a good improvement. Um, like when I'm going and taking the train, I do like use the New Jersey Transit app frequently, and when I did see the change, it was jarring at first, but it wasn't like too difficult to navigate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but usually if I went to find like the real-time stats of like a train or even like a bus, I would have to use there's like this separate like transit app that I use um to kind of track that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
And how it basically works is that I think it depends on well, I don't know exactly how it works, but I do know, like, say, for example, somebody else is on that train and they're using the app, they can, like, use
mhm.
this feature to, like, broadcast where, like, the train or bus is.
So it's like Waze, but for transit.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
and that's what I've been using for a while. So I'm glad they're now, like, using or they're integrating, like, real-time tracking
Mm-hmm.
into the app now, to make it more efficient. Because like navigating between two apps is kind of hectic sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And have
those are my thoughts on
you
that.
and have you seen the new interface?
Yes, I have seen it. Like I said, it's not too difficult to navigate.
Hmm.
But I was surprised how they did like a complete overhaul. Like I'm
Yeah.
the previous, like they completely like changed like the whole theme of it. Like
I mean, if you remember the old interface, it felt visually, it felt very dated, I think.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
It did not feel like an app that exists in 2026. Um, so I know people it takes some time getting used to. But I think it it works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I haven't after like getting getting used to everything. I haven't really had issues with navigating anything on there.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, being someone who rarely uses the train and is from South Jersey, definitely asking people who are from North Jersey helps.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that being said, let's move on to Jordan. You have our Reddit rabbit hole for today. What
Yes, I
what
do.
spooky story do we have
Oh
this
gosh.
time?
Well, it's not, I don't think it's as spooky as the other stories I've done, but the title of it is called We Went Looking for Pirate Treasure One Summer. So, um, it should be pretty interesting still. Um, so let's just get started. This happened this summer. I got my first pocket knife. I was 12 and had begged my folks to let me have this tool for as long as I could remember. As much as their previous refusals had bothered me, I still remember understanding their sentiments. Kids are dumb and knives are very sharp. It's not exactly rocket science, and I knew that they had my best interests at heart. However, I was very annoying at that age, and I knew if I didn't just act stupid and ask at the right moment, they'd get me one. That classic kid manipulation resulted in my dad taking me to the nearest outdoor store and letting me choose out a blade. That buck knife became a part of me and still rests on the desk next to me as I type this. It saved my life, and after 20 years of lying about it, I figured it's time to come clean. My family is under the assumption that I fought off a wildcat in my younger years and that the scars on my arm are the consequence of that interaction. They don't know how dumb I was back then. They don't know about the quote unquote pirate we met, nor the treasure he promised us all those years in the seaside town I grew up in. The pirate appeared to us while we were making a makeshift fort, and I was with my friend Daniel. I was whittling stakes out falling branches while Dan dug a patch of dirt out of the earth. I can't remember what our plan for the structure had been, but at the time I guess it made sense. He was hard at work with a shovel he'd taken from his dad's shed and was racing the daylight to get as much done before we had to head back home. We were both prone to losing track of time, and both of our folks were keen on beating the tar out of us for staying out too late. So we treated the horizon as a timer. Two fingers between the setting sun and the edge of our sight meant it was time to pack up. We were only a half a width away from leaving when the pirate stepped into our clearing. He had a big beard, a striped shirt, boots, and baggy pants. He had a sword and several pistols on his bandolier, as well as his eye patch and bandana. He grinned at us with a toothy smile and waved. I remember thinking that his voice and his appearance were familiar to me, but I couldn't place where from at the time. I held my tool a bit tighter as the man approached, so Daniel grew wide-eyed. Daniel was 2 years younger than I, and he hadn't outgrown some of his child fascinations, one of those being pirates. He was 10 years old at the time. I didn't and still don't blame him for his actions, but that doesn't change anything. He waved back naively and said, "Ahoy, Captain." I remember reaching for his hand and tucking my knife in my pocket. "Dude," I told him, "we don't know this guy." He looked at me like I was crazy and said, "Are you kidding me? It's Captain Moody, remember?" His name rang a faint bell, but nothing that stuck out to me. Daniel rolled his eyes and said, "He's famous, Jack. He must be doing some kind of event." I was flabbergasted at his response and was as lost as ever, but he spun back to the pirate. As if on cue, the man replied, "Aye, that be right." He took a few rigid steps forward and posed with his hands on his hips. "I'm Captain Moody, and who might you be?" Daniel readily told him both of our names as I checked the horizon again. We should have been heading back, but instead the pirate had my friend's undivided attention. No nudge or kick from me could snap him out of it. "Lads," he said, "there be treasure of mine buried up in the hill up yonder. I've lost my crew and need help digging it back up. Might you be of some assistance to me?" I tried to pipe up and tell the man we really ought to head back, but Daniel beat me to speak. He promised our help and saluted the pirate without hesitation. I was close to leaving him there alone, but I fought against the urge, and I went with him. The entire way, the man sang that old pirate song about a dead man's chest and rum, and they enjoyed him. I kept trying to catch his attention, hopefully to silently convince him to run with me as fast as we could to my parents' house, but it seemed like he was hypnotized. He talked to me so many times in the past about hunting for treasure that I figured his boyhood dreams couldn't be passed up. The pirate didn't move right either. He staggered in a way that surpassed drunkenness. It was as if every limb was, except for his man joint, did not work. His legs moved without any cooperation from his feet, and his fingers moved all at once instead of individually. I kept my distance from him, my hand on my knife. If he held any hostility towards me, I couldn't tell, but I recall now that he never looked me in the face. He only ever locked eyes with Dan. As we made it around the hill, we found ourselves face to face with a red cliffside. It was a very old mine from the looks of things. We had a few of these around town, all from an industry that failed in the 60s. But Daniel blinked several times as if he had just woken up from a dream and asked simply, "Where's the treasure?" The captain grabbed his ribs and Dan screamed in pain. In a gurgling, distorted voice, the pirate said, without moving his lips, "This way." He began to drag my friend into the hillside. The pirate moved through the clay like a slug swishing into the cracks between the brick road. All the while, Dan screamed and tried to wrench his hand away. But he begged for help, then cried in pain, but it took several seconds before I could move. My friend was being pulled into a developing hole that was barely big enough to fit him, and all I could do was run and jump on them to hold the man and cry for anyone to help us. I tried to grab the pirate by one gray fleshy boot heel that was still dissolving, but only my pinky managed to graze it. That thing's flesh wasn't just slimy, it was like super glue. It stretched and twisted like taffy at first, but it didn't let go of me. My scream joined Dan's muffled cries as clay shifted around us. I decided I had enough, and I took my knife from my pocket and tried to defend myself against it. But the blade glanced off of his skin. I couldn't hurt in any meaningful way, and feared of my only tool getting caught on his sticky skin. I stumbled away from the clay-filled mine with 9 fingers and a bloody knife. And as I thought it couldn't get any worse, I heard the sound of the cops. From there, the cops were called, and Daniel's parents were left inconsolable. They hunted for ages, even digging up the collapsed mine I said he disappeared into. All they ever found was a shoe in his. No bones ever turned up, or no witnesses came forward with information on the abduction. It was on the drive home that after the interview that I had, where I saw the pirate again. He was plastered on a billboard, smiling and waving. And I told my parents that that's him. That's the guy that we met. They looked at me confused, like they didn't know what I was talking about. But I knew it all. And I'm just gonna skip here. Okay. I'm older now and I'm married with a kid. My parents are both dead, and so my wife and her family think that I lost my pinky to a wild animal when I was younger. I've never told them the truth and don't know if I can. All I can do is watch after my family closely and watch the woods and the mines even closer. And that's the end of it.
That's freaky,
Yeah.
to say the least.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Wait, what an interesting
Think-
way to end.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to like come to the realization that some of these stories like might be made up a little bit because Yeah.
You think?
Just a little.
A little bit. Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
I think at first they were kind of when I started they kind of based off real life experiences and then they just started to like get a little bit more ridiculous. So
Mhm.
I feel like
Um,
also the fact that they're using names and they're not like, we'll call him Daniel. Like I'm not
Yeah.
saying these are definitely fake, but I feel like if it was someone telling a real story, it would probably be we'll call him Daniel. That's not his actual name, but we'll call him that for
Yeah.
privacy reasons.
It seems
Uh,
like one of those dreams that you have, like if you ever get your wisdom teeth pulled, it's like one of those like anesthesia dreams.
I was gonna
Yes.
say that's like so specific, but also
Sorry,
I
but
haven't had that, so um
but like the surgery dreams, as I call them.
Mm.
yeah. With that being said, it is now 10 o'clock here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. That means we are at the end of the show. Thank you so much for listening. The Morning Buzz airs Monday through Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. You can listen on the iHeartRadio app, our website, WMSCRadio.com. You can also watch us on YouTube, or you can listen the traditional way on 90.3 FM in the Montclair area. Thank you so much for listening. Wednesday crew will be back next week. Tomorrow's Thursday, so you'll get Thursday crew. With that being said, thank you for listening, and we'll see you around. Bye.
Sit back and relax because you're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, the heart of Montclair Stadium.